the only reason why I want to go against some of these OGs like Derek K and
I think you and Derek would have a nice
yeah,
throwdown in physical. I think you could beat it.
I would love Derek K. Because
Yeah.
he's still an animal. But I would want to go against Derek K or Darrell, or even CT or these people, because I just want to put it to bed. I want to put it to bed already. The OGs are done.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of A-Listers. My guest today is most known from Big Brother, X on the Beach, MTV's The Challenge. He just got done working out. Welcome to the show, Paulie Calafiore.
We are in here. Thanks for having me, man.
First question I have for you is, what would you be doing today if you never got on reality TV? From what I researched, you used to be a DJ? Is that correct?
No. So
No.
I never understood this, because it's like on Big Brother, they filmed me in a gym that I owned as a trainer that only trained athletes and everything. Now, at the same time, I owned an entertainment company where I had DJs working for me,
Gotcha.
and dancers and MCs, and I was an MC, but I was the owner of the business. And then when all of a sudden I see, I watch back some episodes and it says Paulie Calafiore, DJ. I'm like, who the fuck? Who put this out there? I'm like, all right, I get it. They just want to, pigeonhole me in the New Jersey stereotype. My name's Paulie. I'm from New Jersey. They're gonna make me a DJ because I'm like getting out of the house, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're a flop DJ. You'll never be a DJ." And I'm like, okay. I
never was a DJ.
I was like, the only time I ever DJed in my life was from the ages of like 16 to 20, and I was doing like sweet 16s, weddings, and bar mitzvahs. And like after that, I was like, DJing kind of sucks. I'd rather like be an MC.
If you could only do one of these ever again, would you lean more towards doing another season of a Big Brother or The Challenge?
I mean, hands down, The Challenge. No disrespect to Big Brother. It's just not for me. Like I would have fun going in there and wreaking some havoc and putting on a show for the live feeders. And
you can't put your hands on somebody.
you can't put your hands on somebody. And honestly, like I'm not really built to win Big Brother, if I'm being honest.
To your knowledge, I've always wondered, do people ever start fake online beef or even in a challenge house in hopes to be paired with that person on a future season?
Oh, dude, they all do. These cast members, which is why I'm not friends with many of them, are the fakest. They're the fakest people I've ever met. These are like, they plan so much outside of the show. It blows my mind. Like, I don't understand. Like, so they called Cara and I obsessed just because we would go to the gym and train hard all the time in order to enter the shows and just be physically superior than them. And now I'm realizing that it was just like projection, because they were actually so obsessed with the show. They just couldn't figure out how to, outwit us once we got in there. But like, they think of like storylines before they go in. They think of like who to start problems with online for clout. They plan out like who to hook up with, who to fight with. Like, there'll be people that'll like talk before and be like, oh, hey, we're gonna like hook up when we go in there. And it's like they create like their own storylines. It's kind of pathetic, actually. But hey, to each
their own. It's away from the reality of the reality TV.
Yeah, like that's just not me, and it's never gonna be me. And hey, like if that's how these people want to do it, cool. I feel like they're more concerned about how many followers they have on Instagram, and I'm more concerned about how many times I win a final or make a final, because those are the only numbers I care about.
So you had a partner on one of the seasons you were on as Ninja, and I've always wondered, why do you think not that many people or any from the challenge have ever tried out on Ninja Warrior? I think so many people, yourself included, would totally kick ass at Ninja Warrior. So
most of these challengers, in my opinion, they have no discipline or care to like actually put time and effort into anything, right? Like, so to them, going on the challenge is just easy because they don't really train for it. They go there, they look at it as a vacation. They're planning more for camera time. If you want to be decent at Ninja Warrior, like there's a handful of challengers that have things that things that would translate to that. But if you really wanted to be good at it, a lot of these ninjas, they train nonstop for it. I mean, why do you not see many challengers do much else outside of it? Because they fear being exposed as not that good, or not that athletic, and B, they it takes work to like fully transition into something. I mean, I'm training for bobsleds for the Olympics, and I had to put on like 50 pounds of muscle in like less than a year and completely transform my body. And it takes like an extreme amount of work on a daily basis to like commit to something like that if you want it. And, like I said, these people lack the discipline and they lack the drive, to want to achieve anything. And I don't really think they think too far ahead of like, hey, reality TV is not going to last forever. They think it's going to last forever.
And you're talking about the majority of people, not everybody, I assume.
Yeah, I'm just talking about majority of the challengers. Are there some people that, if given the opportunity, would take it seriously? 100%. But like, I don't know. I could like maybe count those names on like one or two hands.
What tip would you give somebody who's just starting on a fitness journey for the first time? Since I know you just got done with the gym, I figure it's a good time to throw in a question like that.
I mean, it's consistency over time, right? Consistency over time with anything is going to lead to success. There's a lot of people that put a lot of BS out there in the fitness world, and it's just like, try this, try that. I can get this result in this amount of time. That's not it, right? The science behind it says that if you stay committed and disciplined to a diet, right, and consistent workout, and it has to be like a healthy diet, not like a fad diet, counting your macros, calculating what your macros are, calculating what your calories should be. If you do that correctly, right, you should be losing only 1 pound a week, maybe 2, if your body's built that way, right? If you're losing like 3 to 4 pounds a week, great. It means that you have a lot of water weight that you can lose. Your body might be reacting differently to the workouts, to the diet, and all that stuff. But I set people's expectations realistically, where like, if you look at it on a week-to-week basis and you have a goal of how much pounds you want to lose, put it 1 pound a week. If you're doing it the right way, because what you're doing is you're trying to build lean muscle mass, right? And you're trying to burn more fat. Well, eventually it's going to come a point in time where you build enough lean muscle mass and you burn enough fat where you're not really going to lose any more weight, but now you're focused on what you look like in the mirror.
From watching the challenge, you're always kind of portrayed as a hothead. And I've had Cara on the show. I've had Wes on the show. I've seen Wes talk about stuff on Patreon. And you've been given high kudos. So has the challenge misrepresented you a little bit, Paulie, or...
Listen, here's the one thing that people need to realize is a lot of the challengers love me and they respect me. There's a small group of people that are just very loud, like maybe like 4 or 5 people that dislike me, and they're very loud. And then all these people that actually like me and mess with me, they just don't really speak up and they don't really say anything because they know that I'm a strong individual and that this stuff doesn't bother me. And I'm not going to go to my friends and be like, are you going to let this person talk about me? I'm not in high school. You know what I mean? Like, I mess with these people. The reason why they mess with me is because they know that I'm just like a real person. Are there moments on the show where like that aspect is captured? 100%. But what I don't think is being portrayed is the fact that I'm using those explosive moments as a tactic. You know what I mean? So it's not just me exploding for no reason. You know what I mean? Like,
something behind it.
There's a method behind it. Like I grew up playing athletics. I grew up getting into a lot of fights, like on the streets and everything. Went through phases of like middle school and high school where people tried to bully me and everything. And I was just raised to to be a fighter and to defend myself. So on the soccer field or the wrestling mat or in a MMA scenario, if you're chirping, you're trying to get that reaction from that person to throw them out of place. And then when you get that reaction, you're looking to boom, like almost like then assert yourself in like a certain type of way, which then after you take away their mental capacity of wanting to fight, then you assert yourself physically, you take away their physical capacity of wanting to fight, and then that's how you win.
So you're one of the few people in recent years who's, as we just kind of briefly talked about, not afraid to fight, to compete in all aspects. Who's someone you would love to go against in a physical elimination?
The only person that would be a good matchup for me would be Turbo. We both love each other. We have a lot of respect for each other. We've wrestled around a lot in the house. He's better than me, and I can admit that he's a better wrestler. He's better at MMA than me, and he's got strategy towards his elimination tactics, which is why I feel like it would be a good matchup, because we're both two people that aren't going to give up. We're not going to quit. We're, even though, an elimination might suit the other person. So I may have an advantage if it's speed and agility. He may have more of an advantage, from a wrestling and MMA standpoint, which he's the only person that would have that advantage. Because if I go against anybody else, none of them have a wrestling background. None of them have a MMA background. I think Jordan's the only other one with a wrestling background, but, him and I have wrestled around a bit, and, he doesn't even compare. But I would like to go against Turbo in something that I'm not as good as him at, and vice versa. He would do the same thing, because it would be a good matchup and we would still try and figure it out. Somebody who I've been watching, recently, obviously Fessy. I've got a good relationship with Fessy, but he doesn't have anybody that can challenge him in there.
Unless it's eating.
Unless it's eating, right? Which,
Right.
Nobody wants to eat. You only eat because you, in your mind, are like, I've got a chance of winning, right?
And they're never giving you like a steak. So
yeah, you ain't getting no steak, right? So, like, in his defense, I think 97% of challengers would have not eaten if they knew that their partner wasn't going to be able to do that. And any challenger that says that they would, they're a liar. Anybody that says, oh, I would have eaten and then I would have carried Casey, you're full of shit, because they wouldn't have allowed you to carry Casey, because if her knee was injured, they put themselves at risk if they let you carry somebody.
There's been times in the past where they've had somebody pick up somebody, and yeah, it looks great for a clip, but they do it for 30 yards, and then they're setting the person back down.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. These challengers that are like, I would do this, I would do that, go back, pull the tape. Yeah, you do it for 30 yards. Like, just shut up. Like, these challengers, they kind of annoy me a little bit with how they have this mob mentality, this gang mentality when it comes to social media and online. They just band together and they do it. I mean, you saw it happen with Lolo. They all like ganged up on her on Twitter, and it's like, you weren't defending the honor of the challenge. Okay. You were pouncing on an Olympic athlete for clout. All of you. To circle it back, Fessy's somebody that I want to go against. The only reason why I want to go against some of these OGs like Derek K and
I think you and Derek would have a nice throwdown in physical.
I would love Derek K. Because he's still an animal. But I would want to go against Derek K or Darrell, or even CT, or these people, because I just want to put it to bed. I want to put it to bed already. The OGs are done. Put them on All Stars, right? Are they good in for sure, right? So like, Johnny wins Total Madness. CT just won Double Agents with Amber. CT was part of the team. That won on War of the Worlds too. But if it was just CT individually, he was not in the shape that he was in on Double Agents, where he just won. So he is not the same person that he used to be. But my thing is, the OGs are done. Put them on All Stars. If there's any other things that come up, put them on that. But I think the time is now where it's like, a lot of these old school fans need to start letting go of these people, because what's happening is you got a lot of new competitors that have a lot of potential, and nobody is able to start to build their own legacy now. Why? Because you got these OGs like lingering. All right. And I don't understand how, after watching War of the Worlds 1 and War of the Worlds 2, where I showed everybody the playbook on how to get rid of the OGs early, for the most part, 97% of them, right? Like, if you look at who makes it to the end in War of the Worlds 1, it was Wes. That was it. And I'm talking on the male side, right? Cara, she's a different story. War of the Worlds 2, it was only CT, right? Everybody else went home. That time is over, in my opinion, right? If it's a team thing, sure, any team can win. But from an individual standpoint or a partner standpoint, if you're allowing any OG to win after seeing how much new people smoked the OGs on the War of the Worlds 1 final in an individual setting, you're out of your mind. It's time for the OGs to know their place, which is on All Stars or anything else that possibly gets going. And the main show needs to go to the new, hungry people. And, you know, if you dominate All Stars and you think that you could come back and hang with the Young Bucks, cool. But your time is done. You had your moment. Stop holding on to it. We all know you want to be famous. You're a little bit upset that, like, you know, back when you were in your prime, it wasn't happening. But, like, ain't nobody trying to see these old, overweight people still competing. Like, come on. Like, get out of here.
What's the coolest thing you've gotten to keep from your time on reality TV? Anything, any cool shirts, awards, anything?
I mean, I still have my rookie. I still have all my my jerseys from all my challenge seasons, and all my shoes that that I used for the entire season. So I still have those. I'm never gonna get rid of them. I think.
Yeah, display case it.
Well, I've got a plan for them, but I'm not gonna put this out there right now because I don't need anybody taking my ideas. But I've got a great idea for those things, so I'm just holding on to them.
So, are there any hints or teases to what's coming up for you? Any possible return to the challenge at all that you might want to hint at?
I mean, I can't really give away too much, so all I'll say is this: don't believe the hype. Don't believe the rumors that a lot of my enemies have put out there and that they've really worked hard to try and like set in place. A lot of things that they do are based in fear because they know that they're finished the second that I come back. I've taken time to build my online businesses. I've been training for the Olympics. And as soon as those things are complete, I'm coming back with a vengeance. And I'm coming back for everybody who wronged me. I'm coming back to flip the game on its head. And I'm coming back to win every single season that I'm on. And make it known that if you're coming on that show, it's my show. All right, I'm the king. And if you want the throne, you got to come for the king's throat. No coming into this game playing scared. I'll sniff you out from the beginning if I feel like you're trying to fly under the radar, and I'm going to throw you into an elimination. Make you earn your keep. Come in there. Guns blazing. Take shots at me immediately. All right? But if you're soft, I want you out, like, right away.
So this last part I have for you are going to be my rapid fire questions. What is one guy and girl you'd like to see return to the challenge? Cara aside, because obviously.
Cara aside? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was going to say the female one's easy. I'd say on the guy side, Frank Sweeney and Landon.
Oh, hell yeah. Yes. Yes.
Frank Sweeney and Landon, I think I want to see them both back. I liked those guys back in the day. They're fiery. On the female side, I would love to see either Emily Schromm, Evelyn, or Cook.
What's one guy and one girl you would like to duo a season with if you could pick?
There's never really been a power couple.
Okay.
You know, and like I feel as though we are.
So there's your girl. Cara's going to be the girl, definitively.
Yeah. If I couldn't pick Cara, I would pick Cam or Kaylee. But Cara, that's it. Like people need to prove that they can take us out because they haven't proven it in 3 seasons that we've been on. You know what I mean? So if we're partnered together, it makes it easier. You only got to take 1 shot. If we're not partnered together, then you got to take 2 shots. From a male standpoint, I'd like to partner up with Jordan or Zach. Just from the standpoint that Zach, a lot of people don't realize this about him, but if you take win percentages of like dailies, how many people competed in, it goes Evan, number 1, me, number 2, Zach, number 3. So
really,
if Zach and I were on a team together, the percentage of us winning a dailies throughout the season is like through the roof.
Who's the nicest person in a challenge house?
Like genuinely nice?
Yeah. Leroy. Same answer Cara gave me.
Leroy's the best. He's the funniest.
Yeah. He looks like it too. It seems genuine when it comes across.
He's the best energy in the house. His jokes keep everybody going, even in the serious situations. Like he's just naturally funny all the time.
Who's the meanest person in a challenge house?
Probably me.
Yeah. Yeah. Give it to yourself.
there's no level of comfort in that house. And that's, once again, if there's no comfort from my competitors, that makes me in a position of being comfortable. That's why it was so hard to break Jordan, because Jordan just didn't break. Right. Jordan's one of the only people that didn't break. I've broken every single person in that house. Name them all the GOATs. CT, Jonathan, Wes has never really been on my bad side, or he's never been there long enough to be on my bad side. Zach,
Jordan's the only one.
Jordan's literally the only one that I could not break at all. So kudos to him, and that's why I respect him as a competitor.
What position did you play when you played soccer?
I was a left back my entire career, and then I went to the MLS as a left mid.
Favorite movie?
Gotta be Remember the Titans.
Favorite superhero? I gotta ask. So.
Damn, that's a tough one. It's a toss up. It's a toss up between Captain America.
Oh, nice. So you can see
Spider-Man and Batman.
Friend or foe, Johnny Bananas?
I mean, we're definitely foes. There were times where we were friends, but we are like oil and vinegar.
Then friend and foe, Jordan?
I would say we're friends outside of it. We're foes inside of it from a competitive standpoint. Think of it like a Larry Bird, Magic Johnson situation.
Gotcha. If you had to pick one superpower, what would it be?
Invisibility.
That'd be a strategy for the challenge.
Yeah, without a doubt. Just disappear.
If you could play one superhero in a movie or TV show, who would you like to play?
I don't know. I feel like I would play a villain better.
I think you'd kill it as Wolverine.
I would love to play Wolverine.
I think you'd kill it. You got the stocky build and
now,
obviously
I got that stocky
the aggression too. That you bring on the show. That would be sick.
I've got that. It would translate well.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
How do I put this nicely?
Or not nicely.
Or not nicely. I mean, my biggest pet peeve is I guess victimhood. You know what I mean? Like playing the victim, because I believe that every human could be and has the potential to be strong and bring out the best version of themselves. And I can't stand people who, where their actions don't match their words. Yeah, they make excuses. I'm not successful because of this.
What is the most annoying thing people do at the gym?
I would say if, when you see people, unless they're training for like a bodybuilding competition, people who will take extra time to try and pose in front of a mirror, or just sit on their phone. Be at the gym with intention.
What is your biggest goal in life?
It's hard to say, because every time I set a goal for myself, before I achieve it, I already set the goal higher. That's just how I'm wired. So it's like, I only have immediate goals, and then my long-term goals, are just kind of like success oriented, legacy oriented, everything in that sense. Specifically, it's, to have a real estate empire, that I've invested in while, setting up all these businesses that I have. In the immediate, it's, making the Winter Olympic team. After making the Winter Olympic team, winning 4 challenges in a row, and then making the Summer Olympic team as a swimmer. So those are the short-term goals from now to 2024.
Well, that is it. Of course, I'll have everything for you linked down in the description. But what is next for you, Paulie?
I got the Olympic trials July 30th and 31st. Those are the final, not the final tryouts, because I still have to go through a fall season. But from there, I'll know whether I have a good shot of making the team or not. So I'm going balls to the wall till then. It's game time.